live and now available in plain flavor. It's the Vocal Minority Podcast.
Delish?
Who needs flavors? No.
Baskin Robbins went too far. I'm just saying.
Public Enemy needed flavor so much they put it in twice. So
raise your voice.
That's a good point.
We were asked to tone down the fun, so it was either that or wintergreen.
Fair.
Plain's better.
Well, hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Vocal Minority Podcast, the podcast that puts on its big kid pants one leg at a time. On this week's episode, we look back at a trouncing of TFC, shocking, relive the first round of the Voyageurs Cup, exciting, talk about, oh my God, so many things, look ahead to this week's match versus the Pizza Rats, and more. And now to this week's panel. The original, the one and only Big Boy Pants wearer. No one wears them bigger. Say hello to Duncan Fletcher.
I'm not entirely sure that was Jason DeVos's point back in the day, but I'll take it. I mean,
we could just play the DeVos clip over all the intros instead if we could find it. No.
I'm not going to go look for that.
I don't really expect you to.
Okay, thank you.
Not needing another textile collection. However, he's considering collecting Big Boy Pants. It's Mark Hinckley.
Have you met me? Technically, all my pants are that, but I get what you're saying. Thank you.
Welcome. Also an enjoyer of Big Boy Pants, but only the second Big Boy Pants wearer on the show. It's Tony Walsh.
This podcast is pants.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
That's just mean.
Sorry, is about pants. Sorry, is about. I read my show notes wrong.
Oh, okay. As for me, I'm going to borrow some big kid pants so that I can fit in with all the cool kids. I am your host, Kristin Knowles, and now this week's show.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, first up, what's been happening? And we are going to dive into the very exciting Voyageurs Cup first round.
Whoa. Whoa.
It was a good week.
Yeah, it had its moments.
Even amidst a number of fairly predictable results. Some were not.
Well, good is relative, depending on who you support.
True.
It was an awful week for some people.
Also true-ish.
Sure. All right. So there were 6 matches, an excellent first round. A couple of things that were, the main thing that was annoying, not results wise, but was and we talked about this, that both Tuesday matches were on at the same time, but that's fine, right? Most of us have a gazillion streaming services. And a lot of us use Fubo to watch One Soccer, myself included. And much to our shock and surprise on Tuesday night, trying to watch 2 matches or flip back and forth, I'll watch a little bit of the Hamilton match. I'll watch a little bit of the Montreal match. Oh no, you couldn't do that. You could only watch the Montreal Vaughan match on Fubo. And if you wanted to see Hamilton Laval, you had to have One Soccer. And
I low-key hated the fact that, 2 things. One, realizing I hadn't canceled my One Soccer. And 2, realizing that I was glad that I hadn't canceled my One Soccer because I have Fubo. And how much money have I spent on One Soccer?
Oh, no.
Like, that's kit money, people. Okay, that's a lot of months of kit money that just went to them. So... I
did at least actively try to cancel my One Soccer subscription a while back after it was, Fubo gets you this anyway. And they're like, no, you've paid for the year. We won't renew it after this current time is up, but you got to keep paying. We're not going to give you any money back.
That's right. They wouldn't even do a prorated refund, would they?
No, it was so much. You've paid up until May or June of this year, whenever that. I don't know exactly what it was, but you've still got another sort of 8 months or so to go on your subscription. We won't cancel
fantastic.
it. Enjoy
Congratulations.
it. But we're not going to give you money back. But same boat, I guess. I think I technically still have One Soccer all on its own.
Ethical.
Yes.
Duncan and Mark are really they're the true local soccer supporters on the podcast. So I only watched the Montreal Vaughan match, and while Vaughan tried to make a game of it, Montreal were, better, even though they're shit right now, but they were just better enough in order to win 2-0. So
Just
yay.
better.
And thus, of course, setting up the traditional Montreal-Toronto clash in the next round, because
Of course.
But Marcus, you watched a little bit more of the Hamilton one, right?
Yeah, well, for just on the Montreal Vaughan match, if it hasn't been already brought up to Vaughan by now, let me reiterate something that has obviously been all muttered. If you've seen their badge,
I was just gonna say,
yourself.
are you going to bring up their CSA badge?
I'm not going to bring it up. My wife, on the other hand, wanted to know why Montreal was playing Canada. So, and then I had to explain to her. And the fact that I got to explain it just makes a bad situation worse. Like, can't. This is what we were given, people. I'm sorry. But Vaughn, find a student, okay? Find a student. I'll do it, but find a student and get a new badge. Keep the colors. I'll keep the leaf. Just get a new fucking badge, please.
Yeah.
Though I did catch, as I was trying to find if I could watch the Forge game, I watched the first about 20 minutes of the Montreal Vaughan match, and it looked like Vaughan was kind of hanging. They didn't.
Yep.
It didn't look like they were, air quotes, outclassed as expected. They were clearly like a step behind, but they also played like they didn't give a fuck who the opposition was, which was nice and refreshing. And then I managed to tune in for a chunk of the second half when it was all over, and they were looking like they were just desperate. So I can't imagine the middle was
hanging
the same.
on. It was they were done at the end of that match. Like, please don't let us have to do this again. Oh wait, we haven't done this for several months and our season hasn't started yet. Right.
I just had to look up their badge because I wasn't aware that is tremendous.
Isn't that great?
That inches on lawsuit.
Yeah, nobody. You would think a club that has got as much money as Vaughan,
yeah,
would either A, have gotten a designer by now, or B, settled a few lawsuits.
I mean, even the V with the terrible soccer ball thing in would be a better badge than the rest of it.
I'm 90% certain though that V is from like an old Civic branding.
I think it probably is. That's probably
city of
like
Vaughan.
Vaughan's like welcome to
City of
Vaughan,
Vaughan,
like
yeah.
sign. Yeah, it's the city above Toronto, for God's sake.
Indeed it is.
But
Oh, now
hey,
that stupid song is in my head, Tony. God damn it.
all right, sorry.
No, you're not.
Not
Yeah,
really.
but why can't they incorporate Toronto into their logo? That's what they are. It's not,
Yeah.
we're a city in Canada. No, you're the city above Toronto. So get some fucking Toronto in your logo. Jesus.
York United for him.
Put a map on your kit, for God's sake.
Yes.
A roller coaster on it. It's right there.
Wonderland.
Fucking King City.
I feel
Do
like
something about it.
Yeah, I feel like the map would be basically just a big arrow pointing downwards, like to the shorts area.
Oh, Laval's got a pretty nice badge. All things considered, not bad.
Modern as fuck. I love it.
Yeah.
But anyway, aside from
That's
the
what-
badge, they tried. Thanks for showing up.
Hey, you just can't win with a badge like that.
No, except League One, apparently. But I know what you mean.
Yeah, but still, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you're going to do okay at your basic level, but then when you get up to the next level, you're going to lose every game without really scoring a goal. That's what happens when you got a badge like that.
Yep.
But then you look at Laval's badge.
This was their World Cup, and
True.
surprise, you shot the bed.
It's true.
Shut the bed's harsh.
I know.
But,
But Laval's badge looks positively like League 2, like French
It looks-
League caliber.
I was going to say Belgian Division 2, but yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That doesn't look at a place against an OH Leuven or a Sint Truden. Like it just
I'd go as far as say a Mouscron.
Mooscron. Yes. Yeah. No, those are good. All good shouts. All good shouts. But yeah, like, see, just Vaughn should just go and talk to whoever Laval got, because now they're under the same umbrella. Go and, source your badges. Come on, guys. Just please. Anyway.
You could just get a V in a strange font. Done.
Already, yeah. Where's it? Where have we seen that? Nowhere. Yeah. Exactly.
Just don't make it look like a male member orbit, entering Earth's orbit, and you're fine.
True.
So the Hamilton Laval match, Mark.
Yeah, that was a thing.
That's good. I'm glad.
I will say that I was okay. I was low key disappointed that Laval wore their white kits. That's how my brain works. It also was a night game, so that didn't make it. That probably played into the situation. But Laval did not quite put up the same fight as the last time Forge played. Was it Ciutremont? I can't remember who we played.
Blainville, isn't it always Blainville?
Was maybe that? Yeah, maybe it was Blainville. Yes. Laval didn't look bad, but they didn't also look like they were going to do anything significant to really threaten. And the 3-0 scoreline for Forge could have probably added another one or two to that. But it was a, how can I put this? More of a I think the scoreline, it didn't flatter anybody. I mean, I know they won 3-0, but like Forge should have had more. Laval couldn't stop more, So, and depending on who you like, the good guys won. And the good guys won, because that's who I like.
There's no way you can spin this as the good guys winning back.
Look, there's only two people on this podcast that could spin it that the good guys won. Me and Kristin.
That's true. They are Kristin's favorite team.
Yeah.
So
one of, let's be clear. We'd like
four.
One of four teams out of the 8 that Kristin is a huge fan of. So
wait, 4? How did I get up to 4?
She's only at 4.
Pacific, Halifax, York, wasn't it? And Forge.
York, really? Did I? I liked their social media team.
Literally
sure,
down the
throw
street
York in there.
Kristin.
Why not? That's fine.
They
That's
are by a map, literally down the street from you.
But
specifically your street, but like they're down it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
At least her death list is only down to 1 now.
True. This is true.
Valor.
They know what they did.
They had it coming. Or do they?
All right. And then Wednesday was the well spaced out buffet of matches. If you were feeling saucy, you went to the doubleheader up at York Lions Stadium, where because the Halifax Atleti match could not be played in either of their stadiums, so they came to Toronto and played here.
So much about that doesn't make sense, but okay.
Yeah, I can't remember what the reasoning was anymore. We talked about it like a month ago.
For Halifax, I think it makes sense because they got to literally build their stadium. But Ottawa got nothing. What are they waiting for the turf to grow in? I don't understand.
I can't remember. Yeah, they didn't have. Yeah, I don't remember what it was, but there was anyway. So they played here.
Is there not some kind of alternate location somewhere between Halifax and Ottawa?
Apparently not. I know. There wasn't like another stadium in Nova Scotia anywhere. Yeah. I don't know.
One of the universities? Sure.
Exactly. It was very strange. I can't remember all the details behind it anymore. Listeners who are CanPL fans and Voyageurs Cup fans, if you recall, please let us know. However, Halifax, they scored first. Oh, exciting. Yay. And then Ottawa just basically beat the pants off them 3-1. That that was pretty much it. They just let Halifax have the ball basically, and then scored kind of when they wanted to, it seemed. So they're through. Halifax is not. And then the YU guys hosting what we're calling them, the space penises, the angry space penises.
I would like to
something shorter.
I would like to have it brought to our attention as public record. Friend of the show, Ruchesco, had reached out to me after the last episode was published because, and I mean this with the greatest affection, what a giant nerd. I don't think it'd been published for like a couple hours. But he had made a discovery that they play at Willoughby Park. So why not the Willies? Up the Willies.
Up
Space
the Willies.
Just the Willies.
Oh.
The Willies is good enough for me.
The Willies is great.
I mean, if Hamilton can be the Andes, I mean, Jesus.
Exactly. This is Ruchesco. Thank you.
I mean, it's good news for Hamilton because the Handies will have their way with the Willies, but yeah.
True.
Yeah, the Handies are really going to give it to the Willies.
Oh, yeah. They're finished.
Yeah.
They're going to be spent after that match.
Yeah.
Deflated even.
But something good happened for the YU guys in the last week or so, and that's they won their opening match against the Willies.
That's
1-0.
nice.
Huzzah! Good for them.
Vancouver Willies.
There were a lot of cards in this game. It was scrappy, to say the least. But yeah, Giantsopoulos got, that was funny when he got a card actually. I feel like he's gotten 2 cards in the last week. I think he's just whatever, feeling the pressure perhaps from behind the scenes. Who knows? But really,
as far as yellow cards and everything, I enjoy that someone for the Willies, Bakari, got a yellow card in 2 minutes for not retreating. Were you trying to time waste at the 2-minute mark?
Exactly.
Well done, sir.
Oh, it was pretty funny.
The Babuli for 18 minutes, not retreating. Wow, this ref was pedantic. And at least York were winning at that point.
Exactly. Yeah. Now you can just do whatever you want. Yeah. But it was
18 minutes kind of, all right, yeah, fine. You want to waste time at the 18-minute mark, it's done, but at least while you're winning. 2 minutes when you're tied? Come on, guy.
Seems excessive.
Yes.
And then the match of the day, the match of the evening, regardless of outcome, the match, many people were looking forward to, and we talked about a lot, which was the TSS Rovers hosting the Grey Mice. And holy crap. What if you haven't had a chance to see it, I do highly recommend. Just if you like feel good stories, if you like to watch the underdog and joyous fans and all those good things, you should watch this game. Now, you're watching it for those feelings. Please keep in mind that this was not a stellar representation of football. It wasn't horrible. Well, Winnipeg did not play very well. And maybe the Rovers were punching above their weight, but it was anyway, it's not like this is a model game. But you know what? It doesn't matter because the fucking Rovers won 3-1. It was amazing. It was so much fun to watch.
Yeah, I find it delightful that Terry Dunfield was on commentary for this one. I don't feel he barely pops up at all anymore, aside from those like the Canada games. But there he was, and he was fully into the whole thing, and just his incredulous laughing when the goals were going in.
I know
it adds a certain something to the whole occasion. Absolutely.
He's not doing color for the Willies.
Mm-hmm.
The 3-man team.
Although I did see, it was funny when you mentioned Dunfield, just in terms of commentary. Someone was saying, like it was great to have him on the broadcast. And who did he used to? Was it for the Baby Reds? For TFC2, didn't he used to call those matches?
Did he?
Yeah, he used to. It's something in the last few years. He was doing he was like one of the go-to commentary people. Because I remember always saying that he did a really decent job until you like stuck him with Gareth Wheeler. And then it's anyways, Gareth Wheeler just takes over and they're friends and it just becomes nightmare fuel. But away from Gareth Wheeler with somebody else, Adam Jenkins or whomever, or by himself, he's actually he's solid at this. I just find it interesting, depending on who you're sitting next to. But yeah, Duncan, that was a great sort of like addition to watching, was hearing him just be so delighted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good for Rovers. It's delightful little story. That is this like the first time any of the League One teams have beaten one of the CPL teams or MLS teams? Or
I think it's the first time. Yeah,
as far as I know.
Yeah, good for them.
Like, it's great. It's very exciting. So yeah, and yes, just like lots of joyful fun. And then Pacific, the Aquaman versus the Pony Boys. And penalties. It went to penalties, which was annoying but delightful because for me, because the Aquaman won and Pony Boys lost. Ha ha ha. But
where was that annoying?
Again, sorry, they very annoying, 100%. And until he came on the match late in the second half, I forgot that Fraser Aird was playing for Calgary. I was like, oh yeah, that's right. Like, I've just completely lost track of that. But it was you know what? It was a good game. Like, it was low, 1-1 before the penalties. But a well played, exciting draw. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was a fun match to watch. Both teams clearly, wanted in on it. Oh, actually, speaking of good yellow cards, Daniels in the 47th minute, argument. That's all it says.
And that's different from dissent for Moose in the 77th
Maybe,
minute?
I don't know. Maybe this is the more polite word. I don't know, but it's just argument.
I mean, who was he arguing with? I mean,
It's a good question.
Only one person got the yellow for arguing, so presumably the ref.
The ref?
Because it's dissent, surely.
No, because somebody for Calgary later on has a card for dissent.
Yeah, exactly. So
Weird.
What's the difference between argument and dissent? I'm very intrigued.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Fighting the ref versus just ignoring the ref. I don't know. I mean, the fact that the documentation was that specific between the two is really alarming to me.
Well, that's the thing. It's just very strange.
Maybe it's a difference between just very casually insulting the ref and then just having just sitting down for just a long debate with the ref and not accepting the ref's arguments, and as we just mass debating
perhaps
the referee and but I don't think I've ever seen argument as a reason for a yellow card before.
Oh, no, that's yeah. Anyway, it was it was an exciting end to the first round of to have those be the last two matches. The delightful, unexpected win by the Rovers, and then to have a match go to penalties, Aquaman advance. And that brings us to the quarterfinals, which is the second week of May. Matches are on the 9th or the 10th. And this is who we got coming up. And obviously we'll talk about these closer too. But so the Aquaman, another battle of BC, are going to host the Rovers. At least the Rovers don't have to fork out any more money. They just have to go. Why you guys?
Yeah, they should. If presumably from everything that's going on there, that means Pacific's going to have to pay and everything. So they should be fucking
for them to travel all that way.
Yeah, don't take the ferry. You fly over there and you put yourself up in a super fancy hotel in Victoria and make.
There are some nice hotels near the water in Victoria. Let me tell you, that one that does the high tea. Oh, stay there.
and fly there via Los Angeles or something. Make a vacation of it.
Stop off in Vegas.
Yeah.
And then the YU guys host the Whitecaps. These are both on May 10th. And then Hamilton is hosting Atleti. And the traditional Toronto-Montreal match. And those two are on the 9th. Toronto FC fans, keep in mind that there will be 2 Toronto versus Montreal matches that week. That's right. Scheduling. It's fun. I think, it's on the weekend. Montreal, I think, are they going to, I can't remember if they're going to, if Toronto goes to Montreal or Montreal comes here. Just know that they play them twice in the same week. And that's amusing. So huzzah. Exciting stuff.
Yes.
Toronto goes to Montreal. All right. So Montreal will be in town for V Cup, and then everyone goes off to Montreal. So there you go.
Hooray.
Indeed.
And new friendships will be forged.
But yeah, it's always, I love the Voyageurs Cup. We all do. And just can't wait for there to be even more teams. It's going to be great. But yay. So we will be back to Voyageurs Cup action in a couple weeks, and we will talk about it then. But now let's bring the room way down and briefly talk about Toronto getting completely destroyed. What did I put in here? Because I thought I was being cheeky. TFC get busted by the Union. I know it's not how that works.
Why do you do this to us?
Because it was 8:00 in the morning, or no, 7. I don't know. I wrote this very early this morning. It's
Okay,
bad.
fine, I guess.
Sorry.
I mean, the Union could have, Union strikes TFC.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Again, you all have the rundown. You could send me notes before we record, but no, that's fine. I do it to myself. If you watched this match, some of it, just the first half, doesn't matter really. You saw an abysmal display by Toronto FC, especially in the first half, when basically they just let Philadelphia do whatever they wanted, which was score goals.
Mm.
No,
Yeah,
you disagree?
They did. It was that first goal.
Oh,
I mean,
Oh, come on. You can't do anything but laugh at that first goal.
no.
That is just
You know what?
one of the most
Chef's
own
kiss.
goals ever. Yes.
I think
brilliant own goal.
my takeaway is I'm glad that one was the first one that went in and not the third one.
Fair.
Because if Sean Johnson could be charged with murder but
Assault?
get off without everyone understands, that would have been the case. He would have had every right to destroy at least one, if not 2 of his defenders. And he would walk free because he would be right.
Oh, come on, that's just misfortune. That's all.
He was I felt like he was hung out to dry every time. And he did good. He did some good work again.
He did.
But the calamity, again, I'm glad the calamity goal was the first one and not the third one, because he could have, we could check to see if there were bruising around the neck of any defender, because I imagine he'd have choked the shit out of him for all of what he had to endure that day. And it was pissing down rain. I mean, can you make this worse? So anyway, but what a fantastically shit first goal, honestly.
Magical.
It was Three Stooges-esque. It was so slapstick. It was glorious.
It's not quite up there at the level of that guy kicking the ball into his own nose and then into the net, like that Scunthorpe player against Darlington back in the day. but not far
that
off.
guy.
Yeah. I want to say Chris Brass. I'm going to just quickly Google that and confirm that I'm correct on that. Chris Brass own goal. Yep, that's certainly a thing. Yep, that's a thing. Google Chris Brass own goal. Fantastic. But yeah, this
Is it
was
as good
also
as Daniel
entertaining.
Henry's own goal?
Where Daniel Henry's on goal, when was that one? Tell me, refresh my memory. Uh-oh.
Your memory will not be refreshed.
Apparently not. I'm going to say, am I gone? Or is it just Kristin that's gone? Kristin's gone. Okay, well.
I'm back.
Kristin's back. Right. Anyway, Daniel Henry's own goal. Was that a spectacularly entertaining one?
It's like a deliberate goal. It was a goal. It wasn't a misdirect. It wasn't I've fallen in front of the ball. It was a goal.
I'm sad I don't remember this.
Truly one of the most glorious own goals just for that. And I felt terrible for him, of course, because I'm a big Daniel Henry fan, whose birthday was the other day. Happy belated, Daniel. But yeah, no. If you find it, you'll see what I'm talking about.
I'm gonna add that to the show notes, Duncan. That's glorious.
The Chris Brass one. Yeah.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Either I've forgotten about it or I've just blocked it out somehow. But wow, no, it's not. It'll be in the show notes, people. You don't have to go looking all that far. But it's not as calamitous as that. But that is a legendary own goal. And
yeah.
Duncan, just remind me, who's the opposition in this game? They look familiar.
Oh, that team in black and white stripes. Yeah, that might be Darlington, actually.
Darlington's out.
Yeah, I know. Who'd have thunk it? Yeah. And Scunthorpe as well. Remember. Especially, fuck Scunthorpe always and forever. So the fact that there was a Scunthorpe against Darlington, that happened, perfect. That's just the greatest moment in sports history right there.
Was Scunny Bunny there?
Don't know. I think this was actually at Darlington, so probably not. Yeah.
Anywho.
The rest of this match, did not get much better. So noted for this match was that not only did Insigne play, but he started. He also scored a goal. He scored a very nice goal.
It was a nice
goal. Sure.
Nice goal.
As did Richie Larea. He's late in the game. Another. Richie's got 2 goals on the season. Both of them are rather lovely. But that was like just not even dulling, maybe dulling the pain a little bit of what was their worst match of the season. Like this is like that first match wasn't great for them this year either, but this was bad. And if they need, obviously they still need time to gel as a unit, which is going to take more gelling because new players coming.
Hey.
Spoiler alert. But do they really need Michael Bradley this badly? That's 2 games now. Would his presence have helped here because they were just getting broken down time and again? Would he have made that much of a difference?
I would like to think no, but I'm presuming it was pretty bad. I mean, I didn't watch that game at all. I just saw highlights, so don't know. Yeah, you'd think he probably would have made a bit of a difference, but I don't know. I'd still stand by my opinion that it's not like he's been great this year by any means. So, whatever. But somebody who watched should probably comment on that.
I want to think that he definitely would have made a difference, mostly because he's been playing very well.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of give him the benefit of the doubt that at least the trend of very well Michael Bradley would be playing and not disinterested Michael Bradley. Yes. So, and that would you call it clogging up that part of the pitch? That 15, 20 yards in front of the box.
That's
his domain. He would have.
That's his domain, and that's where all the problems were happening. So
that's where every single one of those attacks started. Every single one. And they not even
also Matt Hedges. Please get better. Jesus Christ!
Faster? Can you get better faster? Are stem cells still a thing? Can we get you some?
Yeah, seriously, it's just.
But I have to believe that he would have absolutely made the difference, because there's no way, even if he was there and like we still would have had the same outcome. You know what I mean? If he'd stopped one of them, then that would have been better. But it was a lot of goals, and there was a lot of shots.
So many shots. Like, oh yeah, like I didn't even look at that stat. I don't even know that I want to, but let's look.
It was apparently 18-10.
18.
That's a lot.
7 of them on goal. But still 18. Anyway, it was a terrible match.
But it's all good because they scored right at the end, and then they won in overtime, and go Leafs go.
That was crazy.
That was my.
I did not watch it, but I was watching everybody reacting to it on Twitter. How are you feeling, Duncan? Are you good? Or do you feel hopeful? Like, or are you still in permanent Leafs fan, which is until this series is actually over, the hope stays locked away.
I think they'll probably win. Yeah. Shit could happen. Absolutely shit could happen, but I think they should be fine. Yeah.
It would be nice to see them get out of the first round for the first time in a very long time.
And but Max, New Jersey Devils coming all the way back from 2-0 to 2-2. There's excitement all over the place in the hockey world.
This is not the podcast for that, but thank you, Duncan, for acknowledging it.
You're welcome, Mark.
And thank you for omitting the obvious thing that which would piss me off. So thank you twice. Why couldn't they just fucking roll over and die last night? But no, they had to have a comeback, fucking assholes. Anyway, not talk about this right now.
No, moving on. All right, but what we are talking about, though, is a whole lot of stuff. We're going to start with more Canada soccer dramatics, and it feels like, well, it is. I guess it is old news now. It's not that many days old, but not really surprising, but still kind of surprising, because you never expect Canada soccer and any member of the board to actually do the right thing. Earl Cochrane resigned as General Secretary of Canada Soccer on Thursday. And this is, of course, on the heels of Bontis and a couple other resignations. Now, this one slightly less acrimonious in that he was going to stick around. He's gonna assist with the transition. He's going to stay with the federation until the second week of May. Anyway, this is a guy that none of us like and have not liked for a very long time, and have been constantly bemused by his ability to fail up no matter what. With MLSE, with TFC, with Canada Soccer, it's just like, how do these people continue to have positions of power? It's so annoying. But he's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Celebrate it.
Yeah, indeed. I feel like I was late to seeing that news had happened, so I kind of went, right, let's just search. I was going quickly on to Twitter. I said, search Earl Cochrane, what are people saying? And I noticed I kind of came across his account. Apparently, Earl Cochrane still follows me on Twitter.
Me too.
Oh, God, does he still? I wonder if he still follows me. I know he was.
When I was there.
Which I always found to be very strange. I'm like, why?
I certainly don't get the impression that he is active on Twitter, but yeah. But anyway, that's a very minor point. This is for the best, isn't it? I don't think he was bringing massive competence, and B, he was bringing a lot of bad feelings from everything that's happened over the last few years. So yeah, you're not really contributing anything here, Earl. Institutional sort of knowledge and some consistency, that's the thing. Yeah, none of those things are good right now. Nobody likes anything that's happened in the past, and you've never really demonstrated, competence, this will be good. So yeah, this was for the best.
Yeah, fuck off. I think that was my takeaway, Duncan.
I don't know anybody that doesn't think that this was an exceptional idea. Well done for doing a good thing, Earl. Good job. Good job.
Where are they going to find the new guy now? I mean, they had the worldwide search,
international worldwide search. Certainly not down the hallway to see who still has an office.
This is why we sent the Voyageur into space all those years ago.
Exactly.
Which Voyageur?
All coming together. Announced just a few hours ago, day of recording.
What? Already? Man, space travels fast now.
Jason DeVos.
Oh.
Canadian soccer legend. Demander of people putting on their big boy pants. Current Canadian men's national team assistant coach. All of those
Wigan
things.
Standout? Is that fair?
Is the interim general secretary following Earl Cochrane's resignation. He will take on the role of interim general secretary effective May 12th, which is Earl's last day. And then some buzzwords. He's going to focus on key external stakeholders, operational leader, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada.
No, you're not.
So there's a transition team. Oh, so Dave Nutt, which is just honestly such a good name.
Didn't he work for the Willies?
Yeah.
Takes over DeVos's now former role with Canada Soccer, which is Director of Development of Canada Soccer. So he is the interim Director of Development of Canada Soccer. So there's a transition team in place. Ooh. DeVos, interim General Secretary. Kelly Brown, interim VP. Matthew Chamberlain, Chief Operating Officer. Sean Heffernan, Chief Financial Officer. And Paolo Senra, who is the Head of Public Relations and Comms. So they, I guess, are going to shepherd Canada Soccer and its board into a new era, whatever that happens to mean. One thing to note, other than the fact that DeVos is taking on this role, is that with this taking of this role, he will be stepping down from assisting John Herdman with the men's national team. He will no longer be involved in active coaching for the national team. Which is too bad, actually. But there's other people that can coach, so that's fine.
This is true.
Maybe or maybe not, but yeah, definitely don't make comments about DeVos and his coaching. He doesn't like that sort of thing.
Oh my God. That guy won't let it go.
No,
put on your big boy whistle.
Yeah.
He had 2 separate stints with the London Lasers.
Did he really? I didn't realize it was 2. I knew he was there once.
I think the thing that's really remarkable is that the London Lasers were around long enough to have 2 stints with them.
It was between 1990. He went 1990 London Lasers, 1991 Kitchener Kickers, 1992 London Lasers.
Took the bus. Look at them.
All right. Moving on from that, but still with the related, the men's national team. We talked about the fact that Toronto was getting a Gold Cup match. Ooh, are we getting one match? Lots of matches? A whole what's happening? So we're getting a single match.
Yeah.
Super exciting.
What is the point of this?
This match? No, there's no point. This is a fuck you from CONCACAF, basically. Here, you peons, have the lamest match, just one, humanly possible. Yep, enjoy.
Isn't that more detrimental to the teams playing? Really? Like, if they're based somewhere else from most of their matches, like, oh yeah, fly up to Toronto now for your one match.
Yeah. You would think.
Well, considering it's Canada versus the winner of the preliminary 7, which we discussed is a bunch of minnows.
John Herdman's not going to be happy about this.
So where will Canada? So is it? It's still a group stage, right? And that's
the rest of their matches are in Texas.
great. That's just makes a ton of sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're.
You wouldn't keep a group in one city. That would be crazy.
That would be totally crazy.
Why would you do that?
100%. Yeah, they play. The rest of their matches of that group are in Houston. Yeah, makes perfect sense.
At the very least, like put one of the other sites in the Northeast. Like I can't even remember where else they are, but
Yeah,
I'm assuming New York, Boston,
Toronto and Detroit, or Toronto and New York, or something like that would make sense. Yes,
Harrison. There's matches at Red Bull Arena.
Okay,
well,
yeah.
that would
That's the closest, and would make sense. Oh, sorry, Soldier Field as well. But anyway, either of those. Soldier Field's actually probably closer, Chicago. But yeah. So that's the one match, the one after like the anticipation and the excitement of finally Gold Cup. And I'm sorry, minnows, they're coming to play Canada. I don't mean to like belittle your profile or your country or any your program. Like,
absolutely,
good luck to you.
But
it's just, it should have been an entire group.
Yep.
Or just why do this?
I blame I blame the Voyageurs for not being good enough with the bribery.
The membership slush fund doesn't go as far as you think it does after you were in Qatar. So come on now.
I blame Cochran. I mean, fuck that guy.
Oh, good point. Yes.
I blame the boss.
Absolutely. Nothing good has happened under Jason DeVos's reign.
Also true. I stand corrected. It's the boss.
As much as I feel like we should just fine, sure, it's DeVos's fault.
No, who's going to be director when this match takes place?
He's a general secretary.
Yeah, that too. General secretary.
Anyway, so that match is was it June 27th? Is that the date? Let me scroll.
Is that going to be long enough for Alphonso Davies' hamstring or whatever it was to be fixed?
Yeah, that's the other sort of news with the national team right now is that he came out of Bayern's last match. What was it, like the 9th minute or something? Did not look good. So 2 months to, depending on how bad of a hamstring leg injury that is. I don't know. But Tuesday, June 27th at 7 p.m. at beautiful BMO Field, Canada versus winner prelim 7.
Oh. Do you know who's in prelim 7? Who's the option?
It's TNT, Guadeloupe, Guyana, and Grenada.
Okay. How have Trinidad and Tobago fallen this far? They made the World Cup recently-ish.
I know.
Thanks a lot, Dwight York.
Shaka Hislop.
What has he done for us lately?
Yeah.
Truth.
So yeah.
Wasn't Colin Samuel from Trinidad?
Was he?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
And also, you're Guyana. Hey, fuck off. You're in CONMEBOL. Go away.
I know, it's weird.
You're South American. Go play with all those people. Nonsense.
Coming up to CONCACAF, taking our jobs.
Yes.
Who's ready for some more like upbeat, exciting Canadian soccer news?
Me.
Come on then.
Me.
Yes.
I'm sorry. That was a misdirect. I don't have it.
Knew it.
Why, you guys? I actually didn't expect this. I really didn't. I know their attendance has been shit, but their ownership seemed really solid. York United FC is under new ownership. after the
Who
Canadian
did they sell
soccer
to?
business.
Oh.
They sold it back to the league, basically. Canadian soccer business announced on Monday that it has purchased the club from the Baldassara family, effective immediately.
York United went back to outer space.
Mwah, mwah. The purchase comes in anticipation of transferring the CAPL founding club to new ownership.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping too, right? Right? Fuck.
I like seriously though. I be considering all this stuff.
Should we put in a bid? We could probably like get together like $10 between us. Should we try and buy York?
Finally move them to where they belong?
Yes. Varsity Stadium, or do you need them to be closer than Varsity Stadium, Tony?
I'll take it.
That'll be enough for you? Okay.
Yeah, that'll do.
Okay.
I'd still the dream is still that little park on Brock or whatever the street is.
Yes.
Is it Brock?
Yeah, by Duffy Mall, absolutely.
Yeah.
Brock,
Isn't that the one that Sporting Lisbon Academy?
Yes.
It was. Yeah.
Okay, let's just get them to buy the fucking thing. Okay, move them there. I'll take it.
Yeah,
seems reasonable.
They already were green and white, kind of.
Yeah, green and white. That's your colours.
Close. Yeah, close enough.
This whole thing fits. Yeah. I would say it is nice that this Canadian soccer business took them over. It's nice that that is there rather than it was the league bought them, and we all know Canadian soccer business. It is the league behind them, but it sounds like Canadian soccer business sounds like some kind of legitimate business that would be in the interest of Canadian soccer rather than this is the league, isn't it? So it almost sounds nicer, but
it's a nice little misdirect, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes, but this isn't good news.
No. And again, we've talked to we made fun of their attendance because it's been not good at all, but with and part I don't know how long he's staying on until the new owners, or maybe they'll keep him on. When Agnes McNabb got involved, obviously we've talked about their social media and their profile and their marketing of the club and how much it improved and plans they had, including and presumably still happening, the move out to Woodbine next year. Like this is supposed to be happening next year, which again gets them into Toronto proper. Well, Etobicoke, you know what I mean? The Greater Toronto.
Toronto's Texas.
The amalgamated Toronto. But and like there were moves to, make it more, well, I don't even know if I call it more accessible, but anyway, like it was exciting that they're going to have their own stadium and it was going to be part of this big thing. And they, possibility when you're part of another big thing that other people come to your thing because it's right there.
What, you think the horsey crowd's going to go catch a York United match?
Mm-hmm. They're expanding the whole complex. It's, it's not just meant to be horsies.
You can gamble on soccer now as well as horses.
Just ask Declan Hill.
That's what the horsey crowd is, Tony. This isn't it's fancy. If you ever go to Woodbine, it's mainly like people who are just there to gamble. So
yes, because we all know people who gamble on football are then going to the matches they gamble on.
Hey, got to protect your investment. Anyway, so it'll be really interesting to see how this sort of all shuffles out, but hopefully, and I mean this very sincerely, do not want to see another team in this league go under. I hope they have another ownership group lined up. I hope this is a quick transition, that this isn't something that the league owns the team for this season and then folds it.
Yeah.
Or that they don't make it like heaven for like the season's 2 weeks old. Like they're not gonna. I don't know. Like I don't know how to really react to this. Like part of me wants to be like, you suck, but no, I don't want that. I want success.
It's true.
Don't start. I want to have, we need this league to grow, not to crumble and fall.
Yeah. I mean, this club was, I don't know, from the beginning, great with the best intentions, where it was placed and then where it's moved and everything. It's been without a plan. It's kind of, sure, they were going to be the team of the 905, but that was never a good idea. Like, that's a giant expanse of geography with no fabric that really interconnects it. Like, those places, it just, I don't know. It poorly thought out club, really. It wouldn't shock me if they're having trouble finding investors. It's not exactly, showing a lot of promise 5 years in.
I often felt that the people who kind of planned this all out really, and this is specifically for the York 9 United. I'm not going to call it an experiment, but the chance is that they just went, okay, where is there a large population of people that don't have any kind of high level sports representation that we could try to fill a void. And this is the chance. They went with that region. Like, the first mistake was calling it, naming it after the region. Like, there's no such thing as York region pride. That just sounds like some, and in the sense of like pride in the region, not the LGBTQ version. But you know what I'm saying? Like, there's like many moons ago, there was a lacrosse team introduced in Hamilton called the Ontario Raiders.
Yeah.
Who in the ever-loving fuck thought that was a good idea has never been to the province.
I don't know. People from Kenora were really hot on that team.
That team moved where they got a proper name, and they're the Toronto Rock. My point is that naming it after a region, you should check to see if the people in the region give a shit about.
Where do the Toronto Rock play now?
Isn't that ironic? They're in Hamilton. Yeah. But anyway, so calling it York region is like, to me, it was like so lazy. Like, just call yourself Vaughan, call yourself Woodbridge. Just pick one. It's fine. Like, it's all a whole bunch of gray mice communities that the only thing they have in common is that they all don't live in Toronto. That's
Girl
really
pair of East Gwillimbury.
So, so calling themselves, getting rid of the number and going with United, I felt was super, super clever. Like, that was a really clever move, because you can just go, well, Toronto used to be called York. So let's go that route. That way we're not Toronto FC. See, we already know that exists. We're going to be something different. But then every opportunity they could, where they had every opportunity they took to possibly attach themselves to Toronto, to the GTA, to not the GTA, to Toronto itself, they kept going York region. No, I would not be investing in a York region team, but I would invest in a North Toronto team. Do you understand? Like, you can like this. I still think it's salvageable, and I don't think the idea of putting a team in the north end of the city was a terrible idea. They had a venue. There was talk of them building their own stadium, where apparently they had the land. Like, there's a couple things going for it that made this super, super plausible, except the fact that they kept calling it York region. So I think this can be saved and turned around. And maybe when they move ass into Woodbine, they stop calling it York region and just call themselves Toronto. Like, still York United, but we're not York region's team in KNPL. No, we're Toronto's team in the KNPL. And
call yourself Woodbine. Just really, really fucking embrace that and go with like the Woodbine something.
Like, I don't feel that they're far off the correct answers, but there were some fundamental mistakes made at the onset that were like, ugh, good luck.
Yeah.
And even when they said we're going to play at York University, ugh, good luck.
Yeah.
Like I would love to go to a Yorkie. Like looking at the Voyageurs Cup match where York United are going to play Vancouver. That game, am I mistaken? That game is going to be played. That's going to be played there, isn't it? Or is that out west?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was at York.
It's at York.
So I remember a game not that long, or a date. Well, mind you, it was like forever ago now, where my esteemed colleague and I, Duncan, went to go see York nearly take out Montreal.
So close.
Oh, that's right. I forgot you guys were at that game.
Our fucking minds. I was losing my mind. Duncan, you probably had your faculties. I was losing my mind. But here's the thing. To park up there is super prohibitive. There's not a lot of spots and they want $20 a car. And I'm not from around there. So like, I'm not the target audience, but like, that's to me is like, I can't even show up. I don't even want to go once a game because it's going to cost me $70 to go to a single York game. And I want to support, I would love to be able to support York, but I can't go like, oh yeah, I'll just $40 or $30 for the ticket. And what, you want $20 to park? No. And there's no alternate. You can't just, I'm going to park here and go and walk the rest. Have you seen that area? There's nowhere to park. So like, I just feel like in a commuter city, like North Toronto, like the York region, you want to charge me to park and then you charge me to get in the game. It's like, you kind of need to pick one or the other. So I don't know. I just feel like there were a lot of decisions made that seem like, oh, well, if we put this team here, people will show up. Maybe that's the case, but that's not when you're trying to attract completely new people to the game, the sport, the league, the club. Like they should have just went and found a field and get some reconstituted containers like they did out in Halifax. In fact, they should have bought 3 sets of those and put them, just pick places. This season we're going to play in King City. This season we're going to go play here. This is like, just literally physically move the fucking stadium. It'd be amazing.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's salvageable more so than the Edmonton situation ever would be and ever was, but it's frightening.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like just going to like York United, or just like the York U, as if they're like trying to maybe like embrace the whole York University part of it, which makes a lot of sense because I feel like there's a lot of people go to York University. I mean, obviously not during the summer, which is when most of the games are, but whatever. But I mean, I went to the one game in Halifax, and it's maybe just because it coincided with like essentially like the first or second week that university was back. But there were a lot of fucking student age people just kind of like standing there at the game and just like standing around drinking, not really paying that much attention. But it's kind of like as if the students seem to like this. So yeah, and it kind of in a way, you've got to figure out some kind of way to be able to market it to you're right there at York University.
Yeah, like a lot of people engage your local community.
Yeah, so I'm not quite sure how and why that didn't sort of really work out at all. But yeah. So far it just hasn't caught on at all, which is a shame. But would I want to completely give up on it? No, I think it could work, but. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what needs to be changed. I think like there's probably a lot of people who were probably sort of turned off by the initial sort of branding from the offset, and just kind of now established in their mind as this is a bit of a joke, and how do you overcome that? And actually, right, it's still the exact same organization, but new ownership and maybe new branding again, and we're different now, and people are going to want to come. I don't know. I feel like as they kind of blew it at the start, and it's sort of very difficult to turn that around.
I don't know. I mean, it's perception thing in Toronto, right? Like, especially Toronto crowds who have a lot of options sporting wise, and TFC are accessible for a ticket for the most. Other than cost, if you have the means, you can get a ticket to a TFC match, and TFC broke the duck of problems that past football teams had in this city, which was because of the perception they came out feeling close to, much closer, much more realistic as a, international football club that you would see elsewhere. Their name wasn't stupid. Their, badge was normal, all those kind of things that we've talked about a million times. And the stadium, even though it was small at the time, it was a football stadium. Yep. And so the perception changed for enough people. And the perception for York, just has looked and has not improved to anything that doesn't look amateurish, right? And it's hard to get Toronto audiences to support that kind of thing. And I don't know. Woodbine, at least the stadium will look nice, but I have my fears. We're like, if the, York University is fairly accessible public transit wise now. You've got a subway, you've got buses, all kinds of stuff that can get there. And yeah, that, like we spoke of, the built-in student population for part of the year, but Woodbine is not.
Oh yeah, no, completely. Yeah, that's actually a really, really good point. Not nearly as, it takes a while to get up to York, but
it's direct.
Can do it.
Yeah. Woodbine is pretty much, a long trek on a bus or driving, really. I mean, it's going to be on such a big ground, like with all this complex and with the racetrack. It's feels like it's geared towards a suburban driving crowd more than an urban football experience.
Yes.
And that hasn't proven to be very successful.
An hour by transit. York Lions Stadium. Also an hour by transit.
From where? From where you live?
From where I live.
I have hard time believing that, considering you have the subway and express buses towards York and Woodbine. Jesus.
Man, those express buses take a long time to go north, Tony. I used to have to take one to Concord for many years.
I know, but you still got to get over to Woodbine, even if you got that high.
Yeah. I would say you are the closest of any of us to be able to get to York University by transit. St. George Station is very close to you. And if you're coming from the west, you've got to go all the way into St. George and then up. Yeah. And then the bus isn't ideal, but you're sort of right by St. George Station there. You could be getting to York United. Yeah, for you getting out to Woodbine, there's going to be a huge change of.
You know what else is near St. George?
What's that then?
Varsity Stadium.
Ooh, really?
That's a good point.
Go on.
Been there
home of what should have been TFC's home. God damn it.
That's true. Yes.
Anyway. So, according to Mark Noonan, league presidente, they are already in discussions with several different groups and doing due diligence.
Is it the Brennans again?
Anyway, we'll see what happens. Again, hopefully this isn't. Hopefully that is true and that something comes from this quickly to keep that team in the league and that they're not just going to sputter out for this season. Anyway, hopefully that doesn't happen. Good luck to the Y, you guys. I hope you make it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, on that cheery note,
too many horse teams in this league.
More sort of late breaking ish news today. Today was the last day of the winter spring transfer window for MLS, and it didn't look like Toronto was going to do anything. They were the definition of the stick poking guy. Come on, do something. And then they did. And one, I guess, not really surprising. Well, it's interesting. There was two things announced. One was a trade, and then, of course, throw around some funny money, some GAM. And then the other one was just a straight-up acquisition that looks like a replacement for the player that they traded. So Supermodel has sashayed away. Lucas McNaughton has been traded to Toronto's favorite MLS partner, which is Nashville, to join
Oh, that's nice.
former teammate Jacob Schaffelberg, in exchange for, let me see it, CJ Sapong.
Mm.
He's a choice. If this were 5 years ago, I'd be so excited. Like, yeah, he's annoying and scores goals, and we hate playing against him.
Now he's just annoying.
Sorry?
Now he's just annoying.
Now he's just, well,
No goals.
no goals for a year almost. But
Sweet acquisition, bro.
he's 34. So good. Another old player. Obviously it's a short-term deal. I don't even know if the deal is past this year. I don't know what, you know, he can't do any worse than Toronto's other strikers, right? Can he?
I mean, zero's a number. Yeah, you're right.
Exactly. And I've seen, you know, a few soccer voices on the internets whose opinions I at least respect, not just, you know, eggs with numbers for names. Saying that even though he hasn't scored goals, he's been, you know, involved and important to how the team plays and their accomplishments. Blah blah blah.
I think that's basically what Toronto needs. I mean,
yeah,
we need somebody who can occupy the central defenders, sort of hold the ball up and do those sorts of things. And then Larry and Bernie are there to score the goals. The centre forwards there to be a centre forward, provide shape and to help those guys. So I think the fact that he doesn't score many goals is not that important. It's more, hey, can you put yourself about to be annoying, to chase down balls, win balls, hold it up, and be able to get the fancy people involved? Then that's job done, and the freaking Larry and Bernie will take care of the goal scoring. And sadly, Akinola and Kerr and whoever weren't really.
Well, Diamande, if he ever gets healthy.
Diamande might be able to do that if he's healthy. I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, so I mean, hopefully Sapong can do that at least, and and yeah, the goals not super important, but yeah, I mean, it's just be a presence, just help out a little bit more than Akinola and Kerr have been, and maybe this will work.
And then, welcome surprise, second player acquisition, Ame Mabika, 24-year-old defender, 6'6",
What?
6'6", from Miami Vice.
Sure.
So signed through the rest of the season with options for 24 and 25, $100,000 in GAM. And I'm not mad at a 24-year-old 6'6" central defender. That seems reasonable to me.
Is he good? You said he's young and he's tall. Is he good?
He started every that was their supplemental team. Hold on, what's he been doing this year? 18 appearances across all competitions with his first season with the club. So didn't play everything, but
with proper the first team, not sort of the baby.
Yeah, no, with the first team, MLS Cup playoffs.
What would baby Miami Vice's team be called?
Inter Miami CF2.
Yeah, no, they need a better name.
No, that doesn't work.
No.
Oh, what did we call them? I can't remember. We gave them a name, didn't we?
Did we?
The Mankinis?
Anyway,
Yeah.
it looks like
What's a baby flamingo called?
Good question.
it looks
on
like
it.
at least a
The
decent signing.
The Miami juvenile crime. Right? The juvies.
The Juvies.
Yeah. Anywho, maybe.
Yes.
Like
Come on, hold on. I'm sorry. This is important. A baby flamingo is called a flaminglet.
Oh, that's nice.
It's a what now?
A flaminglet.
Flaming wet.
A flaminglet.
Flaming
Well,
exactly
that just
right.
sounds wonderful.
The flaminglets.
The flaminglets. Fun.
And they're ugly fuckers too.
I think we kind of like slightly skipped over the Lucas McNaughton going part of it, but I've got to say I loved the fact that pretty much his last thing with CFC.
Yes, exactly. I know.
Magical.
I imagine some of that gam money came down after that match.
Yeah. Fun.
2 million.
He was, yeah.
Post match. 1 million.
He was fine while he was here. He generally did okay. Didn't look amazing, but he was fine. But then, yeah, that's the last impression. Lovely. But yeah, hopefully this guy's good. Don't know anything about him at all. Maybe it'll work. Don't know. Analysis.
Indeed. Well, at least they went out and got a replacement for McNaughton, considering Shane O'Neill is sort of flittering in and out of the squad, and Matt Hedges is injured.
Yeah, but when's Matt Hedges coming back? Is he? It seems
couple
like he's
weeks.
important.
It looks like. I think the last thing I saw said early May, so not this weekend, but hopefully next weekend. Anyway, it looks not a terrible thing. Like I'm not gonna be like, oh, what the hell? Like it seems reasonable. I'm excited that they did something that makes sense. The Sapong signing, I hope, works out in a positive manner, whether he scores goals or whether he just causes, enough of a difference up top. And, he's a veteran player. He knows the league. He knows his job, right? Whether it includes scoring goals, but whether it's just, drawing defenders, moving the ball around, creating up top, having that vision to move the ball, to see other goal scorers, that kind of thing, stuff that Toronto has sorely been lacking. You get tired of watching Bernardeschi game in, game out, for good or for ill. And lately it's been more for ill. Well, he tries to do everything because he clearly doesn't trust most of his teammates right now. That has to change, because he's just going to get more and more frustrated, and it's just going to get more annoying to watch. Right. So, yeah.
Not as annoying as spending, majority of your career at a club and leaving, and then they win their first title since you've played for them.
Yeah.
That's got to be kind of annoying too.
Yeah. I mean, what was the problem with Napoli all these years? Oh, now they can win. I
got an interesting bit of MLS news.
Let's hear it.
Go on.
So Valentin Tati Castellanos, who is on loan at Girona in Spain from New York City FC, this weekend became the first player since 1947 to score 4 goals in La Liga against Real Madrid.
Pardon me?
MLS.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Patti Castellanos. I remember that guy.
Wow.
Huh. Also, Mark, Girona kits. Crazy.
Oh, yeah.
I'm clearly drawing a blank. I'm on it. Oh, the diagonal red and white stripes.
Well, kind of. Some are horizontal, some are vertical.
Oh,
Pizza
yes. And then they're I think their current Puma one. Yeah. Okay. I know who you're talking about.
No, yeah,
Spectacular.
that's all over the place. Pick a direction, Your Honor.
Or don't.
Your Honor.
I'm here for this.
The badge, equally a mess. What the fuck's going on there?
Oh, it's not good.
their sponsor.
Did you
Not
just
great either.
cackle delightedly, Mark, about their badge?
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
They listen, that region of Spain loves lines going in different directions.
Apparently.
Oh man,
Apparently so.
that home and away shirt. My goodness. I'll take that home one. Yeah. That's fantastic. Whatever, and I don't know what Gosby is. But the sponsor. I don't know what that is. It's probably best I don't know. But anyway. Oh, yeah, that's a pretty ass shirt. Anyway, good times. Thanks for the kit dive. I appreciate that.
No worries.
Gosby. Yeah, apparently they do dog food.
Okay, good. Not something I would be ashamed to have. That's fantastic.
That's funny.
Betting house out of Macau. I don't know.
Yeah, there's definitely pet food stuff. Yeah, it's delightful.
All right. Well then, let's close out the show with what's coming up, which is TFC hosting the Pizza Rats this weekend. Will a new look TFC be able to fend off one of their biggest rivals? And I actually only vague air quotes for that because these two teams they don't like each other very much, which is enjoyable for watching. Pizza Rats currently in a much better position than Toronto. They're in fourth place, I think, in the East right now. But, and I say this knowing full well, this means that Toronto will gift this to them. They have yet to win on the road.
Have they tied any games?
They have. I was just about to say, but 2 draws. And historically, at least in the last several times these two teams have met, they've drawn. It's always something. There's always something. So yes, the reversion back to TFC's natural form for this season, which is all draws, it's back on. So yes, fingers crossed. Yeah, the last time they met, they haven't played each other. It was a 9-goal nonsense match a year ago, basically.
That sounds entertaining. Who won? 9 goals. How did that get shed out?
Pizza Rats 5-4.
5-4. Woof.
I feel like that match. I feel like they came back. Like Toronto had been winning, and then isn't that the match where they scored, like they were down 3-1 and came back and scored 4 goals, and then Toronto tied it up and then they won? This is what's I could be remembering this completely wrong, but that is what is skittering around in my brain. So I will check into that later, but I think that's what that game was. Anyway, yes, 7 draws between these two teams. Pizza Rats have 7 wins. Toronto has 8. It's all very even. Player to watch.
I'm going to go with Eaton Parks for the lulz, because that is a typical MLS player draftee super draft name, if there ever was one. But Talis Magno, because it sounds like a villain.
Oh, so villainy. I was one of mine was Barraza, just because I like saying it. Barraza.
To be fair, that's a fun one to say.
They've got a J. Jimenez. I presume that's not the J. Jimenez that was
It's not. It's Jonathan.
Yeah, I know.
I was very disappointed.
Jesus, Julio, Juan. There's lots of things. Jonathan.
Jonathan.
And if you go by the pronunciation guide, it's not even Jonathan Jimenez. It is actually Jonathan Jimenez. Disappointing.
That's so disappointing.
Mm.
And he's not American. Like he's Mexican. He's just Jonathan. What? Kill disappointment.
Talking of Frenchness like that, there's Monsieur Freeze on the
what? Where did I miss that?
It's just M Freeze. It looks like it's French for Mr. Freeze.
That is Justin Hawk.
It's Matt Freeze.
What's the other one? Oh, I also went with Jay Sands because it made me think of Julian Sands. Oh,
I would have taken this Valentin Castellanos. He sounds good, but he's on loan apparently.
Yeah.
Oh, is that? Oh, Thiago Martins. Oh.
Maximo Carrizo.
Maximo Carrizo?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
That's a great name.
That sounds like the best dried sausage you could buy.
Oh, yeah.
So for this match, obviously Insigne is going to play again. Bernardeschi came out halfway through the match, whether that was because he's been acquiring yellow cards at a Michael Bradley rate, or if he was carrying a knock, or it was just like, you know what, we're getting shellacked here. Let's not waste our best player on this.
He looked after like the game the previous week. It looked as if he got a bit of an injury there.
Yeah,
I think is maybe not his fully at 100%. So yeah, I think all right, you're down 3-0. Just fuck it. Let's just call this one and save him for next week, probably. But
do you expect to see the Sapong song start?
Nah.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree with my esteemed colleague and say yes. Who the fuck else have they got?
Exactly. That was my thought. I was like, you know what?
They're going to put Insigne as a false 9 again or something like that? Or
no, that never works out well. So, yeah, I think Sapong starts. I don't know about Mabika if he starts or not.
I misheard your question. I thought you said, will the Sapong song start? As if, will the fans start singing the Sapong song? That's why I said no.
Yeah, that's what I heard too, Tony. So he'll start. They won't sing. I think that's the combined answer.
Gotcha.
But the Sapong song will not start.
No. That's going to require at least 5 of us to start that one.
Yeah, you don't see the inebriati enthusiastically taking that up, or whatever the fuck they call themselves this year. I don't know.
I think they still call themselves that. I have no idea. I don't care. No, probably not. That has too much fun in it. Not enough shouting
and
angry
fucking Olay and
exactly and singing away songs when you're at home and shit like that. Yeah, it's great.
Die and fight. Yeah.
Berserker. Anyway, yeah, I don't know because Mabika actually doesn't look like he's actually played yet this season. Which is a bit of a he played again, he played, a number of matches, including into the playoffs and stuff for Miami last season. So I don't know why he hasn't played yet this year. So that's a question. But Toronto are down 2 central defenders. So it's either Rosted and O'Neill or Rosted and Mabika. And I don't know. I'm sort of sensing this is a trial by fire. I say he plays.
Yeah, might as well, because again, who else have they got? Is O'Neill fit? I feel like I'd be okay with O'Neill if he's fit to go. He hasn't really played that much this year, but it doesn't seem like Bob Bradley likes O'Neill. So, yeah.
All right. Well, then, score predictions for this one.
5-4.
Did you say 4-4?
I said 5-4.
Oh, 5-4 for who, Duncan?
New York.
Okay.
So, you know who hasn't lost at home yet?
Toronto.
Who?
Toronto.
Really?
You know who hasn't
What
won
kind
on
of
the
kits
road?
are they wearing, Mark?
You know who hasn't won on the road yet? New York.
Who?
New York.
Oh, God.
So 2-0 Toronto or 1-0.
Yay.
Because either Toronto wins or a draw still fulfills those statements.
I like it. Tony?
2-1 New York.
Boo. I'm going with Marcus.
boo me.
2-1 Toronto. So there. All right. Well, that's our show. Feels short, but let's get out of here before we change our minds. Please join us next week when we
I just went to Inter Miami's site and tried to click on the thing for what's his name, Abika, and his page doesn't exist. It's like,
Oh, that was alarmingly fast. Man, some of these guys are just quick on the draw. Oh well. Well, we will hopefully find out a little bit more next week. So yes, please join us next week when we look back at hopefully some points at home for TFC and their new players. See what other excitement Canada Soccer has in offer to us. Discuss the 2027 Women's World Cup bid, the U.S. Mexico bid. Where art thou, Canada? And more. I have been joined by the entire Vocal Minority podcast panel to be found out there on the Twitters at Duncan D. Fletcher, Mr. Duncan Fletcher.
hello. Does Mabika get the whole sort of Kadisha, Atiba, Saliba, whatever tequila song? I mean,
Oh.
it's Mabika, and it fits.
Well, Mavinga's not here anymore, so.
And so like people in Britain have sort of picked it up now, so it's got a bit more. Oh well, yeah, okay, that's a proper football thing now. So can we do that? Yeah, Mabika for the tequila song for Mabika. Come on.
Reasonable. I like it.
Yeah, Sapong's got no chance, but Mabika, that has the chance to get going.
Holding it down, as always, at VMP headquarters at Vocal Minority CA, Mr. Tony Walsh.
I'm sorry, I was online shopping for the biggest boy pants I could find.
Let me know if you can get a deal on like a group rate or something.
Like for one pair of trousers? That's real big.
Well, we're just one podcast.
I love you guys, but I don't want to share.
All right, fine.
I don't want to share my. Plus, who gets the legs? or is it like divided? Like me and Mark get one leg, you and Dunk get the other leg. Like what the fuck?
Like a potato sack race almost.
That's a weird potato
but with
sack.
More freedom of movement.
For one thing, your potatoes are going everywhere because the legs are still there. So your farming career is null and void.
It's probably for the best. On the tweet machines at KitNerdMark with a K, not a Q, Mr. Mark Hinckley.
Thank you to everybody who continues to support us via Patreon. We absolutely appreciate it, as always. We've got shirts. Tony did them. You can find them on our Zazzle shop. You can go to go to vocalminority.ca. There's no the in the URL to check them out. Also, all these they're on the YouTubes. They're caught up. If you prefer to consume these masterpieces via YouTube, you can. It's just audio only, but it's there. Sorry. Subscription would be nice if you're in the neighborhood. You want to click that subscribe button. Thanks. And I could not help but laugh at how many games of the Voyageurs Cup seem to be in either the west coast of BC or the GTA. So I'm also amused at the fact that both Forge and TFC are kicking off at the same time. Can we just separate them? Like, really?
Who would want to go and see both?
I
Who would want to do that?
know.
I know, ridiculous.
Who would be that? Who would be that wanting? Honestly, who thought this all the way through? But spare a thought for York, right? Because they got the other day because they're going to have all their fans show up.
Yes, that's the thing. We had to make sure York gets the other day so that people can go and see one of the others plus York, because it's the plus York that everyone wanted.
But it is kind of crazy. It is kind of crazy that in 2 days you could see all 3 Canadian MLS teams in the same city. Anyway, thanks, Kristin.
You're welcome. As for me, you can find me on the internet. Yes, the entire internet at KZ Knowles. I have been your host, Kristin Knowles. And until next week, Canada, get used to it.